Esteemed House of Representatives, today I would like to bring forth a matter of importance regarding the Privacy Act of 1974 and how it pertains to locating an adoptee's biological parents. As we all know, the Privacy Act protects many people from identity theft and identity fraud, sensitive personal information, medical information, and a plethora of other information pertaining to a person. But it also limits or prohibits an adoptee from locating their biological parents. You may ask yourself how that can happen. This is because the Privacy Act prevents identifying information from being released. In the search for my own biological parents, I have been halted many times when I have been very close to gathering new information. Because the information is deemed identifying in nature, that means that it can reveal a birth date or a home address, a social security number, or even a blood type of someone. These things are deemed sensitive in nature and therefore identifying in nature. And the Privacy Act protects against those types of items being released to the general public. But at the same time, an adoptee does not need a social security number of their birth parents, even though that would make it extremely easy to locate them. That would be too much information to give to a complete stranger. Even by going through the court system and having records unsealed, does not help much. A good example for this subject is after having my own records released from the courthouse, I was able to locate the hospital where I was born. With this paperwork in hand from the courthouse, I decided to make the trip to the hospital and see what I could turn up. They, however, would not give me any information, them being the hospital, even though I had documents from the courthouse that signed the courthouse seal on them. They claimed that the information was identifying to my biological mother and would not release them to me without a court order to do so. That is all very well and good. Protecting that kind of information is what the Act was written for. However, the cost to have every piece of information subpoenaed could cost $10,000 or more, depending on how much information there is and how many different locations this information is located at. It can cost an individual a lot of money in the end to locate their biological parents. I feel as though the Privacy Act should be lifted to a degree for an adoptee who is of the age of 18 or older and seeking their biological parents. I'm not asking for a complete dismissal of the Act. Of course, a social security number would not be a good thing to just hand out to anyone. But information like a date of birth would go a long way to help locate a biological parent. I understand that someone could still do harm with a date of birth, but I also feel as though someone who is looking for their birth parents is looking for closure more than they are trying to inflict pain on someone. For these reasons, and many more, I would ask that a revision of the Privacy Act be made so that adoptees have a better opportunity and chance to locate their biological parents. As it stands now, biological parents have more rights than the adoptees, because it is their protected information that could help an adoptee locate them. Because their protected information could help an adoptee locate them is kept out of reach, kind of like a cookie jar is kept out of reach from children. That is what makes it very difficult to locate birth parents. Because of the Privacy Act, along with other things, but mostly the Privacy Act. And for this, I would ask that there be a revision made of the Privacy Act to allow adoptees more access to information regarding their biological parents. Thank you very much. This is Daniel Brinker signing off.